Hey everybody, it's me, V, the Sepia Scholar, and I'm back again with a review for Ready to Love, Season 5, Episode 12. This is the season finale before the reunion. Um, it wasn't giving much, it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. I'm kind of tired. We had a hard work week, but I want to make sure I push through and give you guys this review just in case you guys don't feel like watching the show. And yes, there are spoilers. I am going to tell what happened at the end. But what seemed way more juicy was the reunion clip. So we waiting for that, which should come out tomorrow. So I can't wait to see what goes on with that. But before that, let's get into this. So Sydney meets Phil to get his take on what happened with Shiloh. She's wearing her neon green tight dress. She got a cute ponytail. I love the little long braid she has going down her back. She's a cute girl, but she always looks Instagram ready. I just wonder what she looks like in her normal clothes and in non-freakum dress, thotty outfits. I don't know, but she's cute. I can't hate, and her body is banging. So kudos to you, girl. The other part I was confused about is why are you meeting up with Phil to get his take on what happened with Shiloh? You're most likely gonna believe him because you have a romantic interest in him. Um, if you don't believe him, are you gonna dump him because of what Shiloh said? I don't even know what the point of this scene was, but I guess we're gonna roll with it. She was excited to see him, wants to hear his take on it, and she wants him to be clear that he wasn't trying to be harmful to Shiloh. So there's been a huge internet debate on if him picking up Shiloh was him manhandling her, was he violating her space, um, should she be hurt? I don't think anybody should touch anybody without their permission. I get what he was trying to do, and I found out he got a Haitian background, so it kind of makes sense why he did what he did. He thought he was being protective, and a lot of times they try to do like a father son type, father child type relationship with their old lady. They protect them like it's their own children because that's they feel like they belong to them. But in this environment we have now, you definitely shouldn't be playing around putting your hands on people, especially if there's drinks flowing. Um, it always turns out bad. There's always some confusion about what went on, and that's exactly what happened in this situation. So Sydney was asking about him picking her up. He said their recollection, him and Shiloh's events were totally different, and he said it was a judgment call on his behalf. He was trying to keep her safe, so he's sticking to his story. He said, did he want to pick her up? No. He did want to bring her back to safety. Yes, and he's adamant he didn't put his hands on her. Um, he just wanted to bring her back to a place that was safe, and he's super bothered that she's hurt by it. So, like I said, he knew he wasn't going to pick Shiloh. He probably played around. There had been several signals that he was more attracted to Sydney. He might have been feeling Shiloh in the beginning, but I think he should have told her a long time ago that he wasn't feeling her like that. But it's a show, so they're trying to keep as many viable options on there to stay on the show. Because apparently, if you find love early, like Camille and what the heck is soft ass Cornelius, they found love early, and it kind of ruined the whole game. So you get kicked off if you find love early, but you also get kicked off if you don't find love. The premise of the show is all over the place, and it doesn't make sense. They need to revamp it for the next one. So Sydney says she feels no different about him, and she thinks he's calm, kind, and genuine, and doesn't think he has any ulterior motive. She said anybody that knows him would know he would never do that. I'm pretty careful about making those type of assumptions because there are people who are freaking serial killers that nobody ever thought they would do them that way. And also in relationships, you never know how people are going to interact with each other and what effect they'll have on each other. Some people are good in relationships with some people, and then they turn abusive depending on the person they're with. You don't know what childhood traumas they have, but she said she had one. So I don't know. I'm kind of leery of what Sydney was talking about, and I have no idea why she even had this conversation. So he says it brought him closer. He thinks she's understanding, sees through the BS. Um, Sydney turns around and says that she bases everything on how he treats her. That's another thing. Us as ladies always think we're different. We'll make the man act different. Dude could be the biggest cheater on the planet, did all this crazy stuff, and we think the magical box will make them change. our box will be special and he won't do it to us. Newsflash, that is definitely not true. So, but she says the Shiloh situation made them closer. That closed out that scene. It was all done. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty pointless scene. They were like dragging time. They just need to get on with the reunion. So, anyways, they all meet together at this like brunch type situation with all of them. Sabrina and her long blonde hair. I don't know how to feel about Sabrina and his long blonde hair, but this wig wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as that wig she wore the last show. So I'm gonna give her a pass because she's a cute lady. I think she's adorable. Walter is over there, even though he only had one person left because he tried Moomin. I think he actually liked Moomin more. But I digress. He's making comments on how Frank is with Moomin and Sydney, and he's seen them with both of them or whatever, and chilling with both of them, which is low key shade. And he says he has no hard feelings for Moomin. So I honestly think Walter is not there for love, but I mean he's cute and everything. I think he's lying about his age. They say he's an actor, allegedly, but he never came off as genuine to me because he said he was a widow. Made it seem like his wife died last week. Him and his wife allegedly were together 10 years. She married him, and 1 year into the marriage, she passed away, and that was many years ago. And he's acting like it just happened. And then on top of that, nephew Tommy's pulling the same stunt because he's been with that lady he's been with, I think, over 20 something years, 30 years, I think. But they've only been married a few years, and he makes it seem like they all capping on this show. So, so Frank is sitting with Moomin and Sydney. Frank says he's torn. As I said, Sabrina's showing off her wig. She says Walter is inconsistent. Nephew Tommy shows up. I'm convinced he hasn't really hosted this show. He hasn't been around. I'm convinced he shows up to show off his outfits and then have everybody praise him or whatever. Maybe his love language is words of affirmation because he seems to be bringing nothing else to the show. Even the men's lounge and the girl cave, nothing is really coming out of it. And those scenes are really, really short. So it's crazy. So, but he tells them that the men are introducing women to their family. Phil is worried because he says his family talks too much, and I'm from a Haitian family, so I'm sure they're going to throw that ass under the bus. So I'm not surprised. Frank introduces his cousins to Sydney. He's an only child, and he considers his cousins his siblings. And the male cousin was really inappropriate to me. Like I thought he was gonna bust one when Sydney came out. He really, really thought she was fine. It was obvious his eyes got big. He liked what he saw. The cousin asks if it's okay to have female friends, and Sydney says they are from the bar scene, and it's expected for them to have friends of all sexes or whatever. So she doesn't have a problem with it. And they switch over. I guess they're switching back and forth between the meetups. And Moomin says she wants 3 kids, and that the number is going to keep dropping as she gets older. They talk about finances being important. And Sydney says that Frank is just like her and compliments her. She says that they're friends and their foundation is friendship. She pretty much friend zoned his ass right then and there. I don't even know why they went on to act like there was going to be a choice between the two, but we got to have a show, right? Moomin asked Frank if he's ready to love, and they said, the cousins said that he needs someone who understands his direction and where he's going in life and will support him. And she's like, what type of flaws does he have? And Sydney asked what type of flaws that he has, and they say Frank is flawless and ready for marriage. Red flag, red flag. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has something that they're working on. There are such things as well-adjusted human beings, but nobody's perfect. You're not Jesus. So that seemed like real fake, made for TV type answers. So when he spoke to his family, they chose Sydney if he wanted to go for personality, and Moomin if he wanted to go with someone who has strong family values. And it kind of makes sense because Moomin is of the same type of cultural background. She probably will understand what they have going on, and so they were pushing for Moomin on that side of things. I'm gonna drink my kombucha real quick. Doing a lot of talking. So Walter introduces his family to Sabrina. I have no idea why. This whole thing is pointless. Sabrina been dropping hints this whole time. He tells his family she's from Virginia, because they're asking all these questions before she shows up. And she shows up and she's in this really, really cute blue top blouse, is real flowy. Like Sabrina comes through with the fashions, but I believe she has a boutique, so she always has some signature necklace, some earrings, some fashions. That's why I think we like her with the short hair, because then she can emphasize all her looks, right? She sits down and she says she's born in Seoul, Korea, and the family's looking like, what the hell? Didn't he just say she's from Virginia? Walter doesn't even know where this lady is from. I don't even know why we're doing this. Walter don't care anything about this damn lady. If somebody doesn't take the time to get to know about you, they're not invested. They don't. They're not interested. Period. So then they ask Sabrina what she likes about Walter. Don't know why she answered this question because she don't like his ass either. She tells them she likes his aura. She asks how he's in a relationship, and she asks if he's affectionate, and they're like, yes, he's so affectionate. Yeah, he's so loving. And she says she asked because he isn't affectionate with her. Girl, there's your answer. He's not interested. The family asked about kids, and if I remember correctly, Sabrina said she didn't want any more kids because she has a daughter. But Walter said he wanted kids, which I don't believe him. I think he told a bold-faced ass lie. Um, and so I don't even know why they're asking about kids because they're mismatched on that. So I don't even know why we're here. But they ask her if she wants her daughter to have a father, and she's very, very calculated how she answers or whatever. And she says all she wants for her daughter is happiness. So I guess that means with or without a father. Then when Sabrina leaves, they talk to Walter by himself again, and they're like, Sabrina is different than the girls that they've seen him with before. And I think what they're alluding to is that he likes much younger women. Why are you wasting this lady time? I can't remember. I think they said she's 46 or 47. You want a younger girl. You want kids. This lady is too sophisticated and mature for what you got going on. The ex showed up with her thick ass nails, in a loud ass, ratchet ass outfit. I don't even know if that was really his ex. I think Walter's just fake. That part is just fake. I don't even know why we're going with this storyline, but that we're here for the show. He turns around and says they have a friendship like each other as people. He wants to build on that. He said they had an instant connection. They connected over her mother being sick and his wife passing away, which we know that there were some inconsistencies in that story. So this connection he's talking about is like trauma bonding, but it's trauma bonding on stuff that wasn't even genuine. So okay, now we're with Dante, fine ass Dante. Which it was funny because I was on live with Talisa Ray and she was like the grill's not all the way right, and I'm a big teeth person, so I was like, man, I will have to work something out. You have to go get them things fixed or something, and then what I heard about what they say about him in the bedroom, we'll have to work something out. He got a good job too. I don't know, but we'll have to work on that grill. But anyways, all that being said, Dante introduces Aisha to his brother and his cousin. And she shows up and she walks in the door and you could tell he's been there. She's been there before. He might have brought her there to crack that back. We don't know, but she's like she's back again. As they're talking to her, she tells them about her divorce and her children and how she doesn't want to introduce them to someone who's not serious, which makes total sense. You don't want to keep introducing them to people and traumatizing them if you and that person don't work out. Her and Dante are giving each other googly eyes the whole time. She's gushing over him. She says he's funny and he listens to her. This stuck out to me. She said she's a Southern woman and wants to be courted. I'm big on courting too. I mean, the people nowadays don't want to put in any effort, but to me, you should at least court a woman that you want to be with as a man. That's my stance on it. She said she's a traditional woman. And I loved Aisha from before. I wasn't digging that blonde wig. I didn't like it. But with her personality, the way she comes into a room, I was Team Aisha from day one. And with her saying all this, I was even more Team Aisha. So she says women should have a choice whether or not if they want to work, and man should be the provider. I am all for that. That is what I believe. She says she'll pay a bill or two. They kind of were looking at her crazy, like maybe she was trying to live off Dante. That lady has her her own salon. She makes her own money. It's just an approach. She don't want to have to work like the other. What the heck that girl name was? Naya, that was acting up with Dusty Chris on the previous seasons. She could have taken care of herself, but she wanted to be able to go on bed rest and not have the lights cut out. But they made her the villain. It is what it is. I think it was the brother that said, "What about 50-50?" I'm going to speak this for me, V, the CPS scholar. As soon as I hear a man say 50-50, I am out. I don't want to hear nothing about it. We done. Red flag. Flag on the plate. I'm out. It's a dead giveaway that you don't want somebody to compliment you. You're looking for support. I am out. For several reasons that I'm not going to discuss here, I am not for the 50-50. And most of the time, people bring more than 50-50 to the relationship. You bring what you can do, right? So then he goes on with the BS, because I'm trying not to cuss. He said, we were raised by a single woman, so everything a man can do, a woman can do. Yes, that's true. He said, our mom taught us how to fish, carpentry, and how to put in electricity. Sounds like mom was a Barbara the Builder. That's wonderful and great. Did you ever turn around to ask your mom if she wanted to do all this stuff, or was it done by necessity? I've met several men that have this mindset, and it is crazy as hell to me, because you literally are saying for a woman to prove her worth that she has to struggle to show you that she's worth it. That mother struggled out of adversity and necessity because she was the only one there to do it. So for you to try to put the woman you supposedly love through that same thing, so I guess she can prove she can suffer as well as your mother did, is insane to me. So Aisha lost me a little bit because she tried to do a little bit of pick me going on. She said, yes, I'm a builder. I have my own. She should have never even said them damn words. She's a builder. She has her own salon. And I'm like, as soon as you said you were a builder, you basically went back on what you said. But either way, she said she wants a man that opens doors, bring flowers, and she will love on you and make you feel special in return. I don't think that's much to ask, Aisha. I'm with Aisha. I'm team Aisha all day. She wants to live in her femininity, and him live in his masculinity. Like, basically, bring home the bacon and she'll fry it up in the pan. Dante, suspect eyes, gonna say she has an interesting take, but he says he will adjust. I don't know, girl. Red flag. Red flag. Dante just going along so he can have a love interest on his show. Like I said, I heard he has a magical peen, and the ladies love him, and it's dangerous, and it'll make you fall in love. Be careful, Aisha. He probably already did it. You probably don't fell in. Well, live it up while you in there, girl. But he said he's gonna adjust. So we're back to Phil, and Phil is having Sydney meet his family, his aunt, and his cousin. Sydney showed up in this mustard freakum dress with her tummy hanging out and everything. Let me tell you, like I said, Sydney is beautiful. Her body is perfect. She hits the gym. That's how she pulled Phil's ass. But there's certain things you should show up with the parents, and once you figure out their vibe, if they don't care anything about that, that's fine. But when you first show up, I'm not saying show up dressed up like a nun or with a turtleneck, none of that. But put on something that makes sense, that's appropriate for the occasion. So Sydney's gushing about Phil. She says he's quiet and protective, and she loves people who are calm and peaceful. His family is worried about it going long term. Probably, I don't know if it's based on personality, how they were interacting, but they're just worried about it going long term. Like I said, their connection seemed totally superficial for me. I felt like Sydney noticed that Phil wasn't giving her the time of day. And, we have our egos, so she wanted to prove that she could pull them, and she's going to take it to the end. It's called competitiveness. I don't think she really want that man like that. So we're back to Walter. So we're at the end. Walter walks in with his coral suit. Loved it. He looks lovely. It went really good with his skin tone. He had some beautiful roses. And then Sabrina came in there twirling, looking like Cinderella with her Victorian dress. He's like, oh, you're so beautiful. And he calls her princess. And she corrects him and says, I'm a queen. I'm like, oh, shit. Here we go. Then they pan over to Phil. Phil shows up with, I think he had a beautiful little blue suit on, and he had a flower, and he had a gift. And Phil walks up to Sydney and he tells her he chooses her. Duh, he wants to smash so bad. It's so desperate. Who else the hell he was gonna choose? Ain't nobody else was there for Phil's ass. One thing I was gonna say was Phil. I think Phil. This is probably the most play that Phil ever got. He's not a bad looking dude. I think he's relatively successful. But I mean, I'm a blurred, self proclaimed blurred, and a lot of times those type of dudes they don't get much play because they kind of fall outside of the box or they're super quiet or they don't know how to deal with the ladies. But this, I mean, I applaud Phil for showing up to a place where he could shoot a shot at a bunch of beautiful women, and he noticed that they were all feeling him. He was able to he always changed characters, and when the disguises like Carmen Sandiego, depending on the family he went to go see, he took full advantage of it, and he at least is getting an Instagram type model for a short period of time. She's sweet. He's happy. He chooses her. We flip over to Moomin. Moomin shows up in her neon colors. Moomin is a beautiful girl. She's long, slender. She has beautiful features. The hair is always on point. She had the neon, I believe, pink and orange dress, but she had some loud ass neon strappy heels. But I'm here for it. I mean, it's all good. Then they switch over to Aisha. Aisha is the winner. This girl in that blue dress, oh my, like she has body. I'm not even into women. I'm like, wow, she is banging. So she didn't come to play. She was dressed throughout this whole season. I know they usually make fun of some of the way the women dress, but her dress code was on point. So they switch back to Walter, and Walter once again calls Sabrina a friend, and then says he chooses you. This thing is not called Ready to Come Be Friends. If anything, they should have called it Ready to Come Smash. But for you to tell me I'm a friend on the last day when we're supposed to be choosing, that is, Walter, just why? Just why? So Sydney chooses, go back to Sydney and Phil, and Sydney chooses Phil. And her in her freakum dress accepts this beautiful Tiffany bracelet. It looks like that he gave her. The people who were riding by in the boat thought they were that she was being proposed to, and said yes, and she played along with it. So I'm glad they're happy, smiling. Everybody's all good. The end on Sydney and Phil until the reunion. Frank and Moomin chose each other. She says she feels safe, and he says he wants to be the right man for her. So that worked out. That was beautiful. Very cute, kissing all lovey-dovey, spinning around, romantic. Love that type of stuff. Sabrina and Walter. Sabrina says that her time on this show wasn't a happy time. Walter was her number one the entire time, but he made her feel like number two. And I bet she means literally. He made her feel like shit. He did not value that lady. She says he was a no call, no show. He never called. He never reached out to her at all. She never felt pursued. And she says she deserves the best and will always love him as a friend. Walter acts all shocked that she didn't choose him. I don't know why he was shocked. He literally sat there and said he hadn't spoke to her since he met his family, which means however time they did taping that, he didn't reach out. If you were really feeling her like that, you would have been reaching out. Look at all the other people who broke the rules, texting, meeting at places. Hell, Shiloh and Phil got drunk and met up at bars. Obviously, they were dating outside of the show, but you didn't even give this girl a phone call. So him being petty, he's like, give me a call when you get a chance. She said, yeah, I will call you because you don't call me. Woo! Sabrina wasn't here with the shit. She wasn't playing with that daggone man. He thought he was gonna string her along. I have grown a love for Sabrina because I actually ended up on her YouTube channel. Just randomly, I guess it was suggesting it. And I said, well, let me click on this. I usually don't watch the folks' YouTube channel. And she brought up a memory that was very fond to me. When I was a teenager, I used to watch that show, Real Sex. Yes, I wasn't supposed to be watching it. And there was an episode where they had Miss Black Nude, and they were in Jamaica, and I was like in awe of those ladies. And it was really inspiring to me. Believe it or not, seeing all these beautiful black women loving their bodies, showing them off in a tasteful way. Yes, they were nude, but they weren't raunchy. It was really inspiring to me as a young girl, especially when you're looking at body positivity. I loved it. It was beautiful to me. And she actually said she watched that same episode and decided to go work. And she was over 200 something pounds. I was shocked. I was like, she's super slim. She lost a lot of weight. But she said she was working at a club, a go-go bar. She saw the episode. It inspired her, and she went to go find the club where they actually recruit the girls to do Miss Black Nude. And before they asked her if she had a pass. She showed interest. They asked her if she had a passport. And she said, "I got a passport." It was after she lost all the weight. She went and competed, and she actually won. So she's my new hero. Kisses to you, Sabrina. I think that is so awesome, so amazing. You saw something and you went for it. I promise you, I appreciate that, and it brings back a teenage memory that I always keep in the back of my mind. But love you, Sabrina. Good job choosing you and not going for lower and not going for somebody that wasn't actually pursuing you. Then it goes to Dante and Aisha. They're my favorite couple. I hope they actually end up together. They were beautiful, lovey-dovey. You see them spinning around, hugged up, and then the show ended. Boom, that's the end. They gave a preview of the reunion. They got Moomin crying. Camille lying about something she said. Maybe they edited it. It didn't show much of Phil and Sydney, and I didn't see Shiloh. And what is that girl's name? Lord, she got kicked off so quick. Not quick, but so messed up. Ticia. Beautiful, curvy, plus size woman that they had on the show. Saw her storming off and looking mad. So it looks like we have some amazing things to come. At least maybe the reunion will give more than this finale did. So I'm excited to watch it. It's going to come on this Friday, which is tomorrow. And I can't wait. So love you guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me if you think I'm dead wrong about what I think about these couples. And until next time, CPS Scholar out.